So if you've been trying to use AI at work, you've probably felt it. That sense of confusion, maybe even a little frustration, right? There are so many tools, so many different opinions on which one is the best, and it's just really easy to get bogged down. But what if I told you there's a much cleaner, way more effective way to think about this whole thing?
This is the question. It's the one almost everyone starts with. You see it everywhere, right? Is Claude better than ChatGPT? Should I ditch everything for Gemini? We're all on this hunt for the one perfect tool that's going to solve all of our problems.
But here's the secret. That question is the problem. It frames the whole thing like a competition, a big battle royale between these different AI models. And that way of thinking, it doesn't lead to clarity. It just creates more noise and makes it harder to decide anything.
So let's just hit the reset button. Let's try to adopt a completely different mental model, a much cleaner way to think about how these amazing tools can actually fit into our work lives.
Okay, here it is. This is the fundamental shift you need to make. Stop thinking of these AIs as competitors, like Coke versus Pepsi. That's the wrong frame. Instead, I want you to start seeing them as a team of specialists, where each one has a very specific, unique job to do.
And that brings us to this really important idea: fit over quality. Look, if you've ever used an AI tool and thought, wow, this is garbage, it probably wasn't a bad tool. It was just the wrong tool for that specific task. You didn't have a quality problem, you had a fit problem.
This quote just says it all, doesn't it? I mean, think about it. Could you technically design a logo in Microsoft Excel? I guess, maybe. But man, it would be painful, it would be slow, and the result would probably be awful. But you wouldn't blame Excel, right? You know you were just using the completely wrong tool for the job. And that's the big aha moment. So when an AI tool isn't giving you what you need, don't immediately blame the tool. Instead, take a look at your system. The way you're approaching the work itself is likely the real issue.
Okay, so this brings us to a really simple but powerful new rule for working with AI. One tool for each type of task, or each type of thinking.
So what does this actually look like? Well, here's a quick breakdown. You've got Claude, which is fantastic for that deep, nuanced analysis. We can call that sustained thinking. Then there's ChatGPT, which is just a beast for speed and brainstorming a ton of ideas fast. Gemini, well, it shines inside the Google ecosystem. Perplexity is your go-to when you absolutely need cited, reliable research. And Notebook LM is incredible for learning from and synthesizing your own documents. See, each one is a specialist.
Your workday isn't just one giant thing called work. No, it's made up of all these different activities, right? You're doing research, you're synthesizing information, you're drafting documents, you're making tough decisions. Each of these is a different mode of thinking, and each one can be paired with a specialist AI to make it way better.
All right, so what does this look like in the real world? Let's walk through some actual workflows that stack these different tools together to get some really incredible results.
First up, let's say you've got a big research project on your plate. You need to find information, really understand it, and then write up some kind of analysis.
Here's a system for that. You'd start with Perplexity to find those reliable, cited sources. Then, you'd take those articles and upload them to Notebook LM to pull out summaries and key insights. And finally, you'd bring all that to Claude to do the deep thinking and write the final, really nuanced analysis. See how each tool just handles one specific step?
Okay, next, let's tackle something most of us do all the time. Writing. Could be a simple email, could be a huge report.
A killer writing workflow could look just like this. You start with ChatGPT because it's so fast. It's perfect for brainstorming a dozen ideas and spitting out a rough outline in seconds. Then you take that outline over to Claude to do the heavy lifting, drafting that sophisticated, long-form content. And for the final polish, you use Gemini to fact-check your work and pop it seamlessly into Google Docs for collaboration. Beautiful.
And finally, what about, just getting through a normal Tuesday? The dozens of little tasks that fill up our days.
Yep, you can build a system for that too. Use Gemini's deep integration with Google to help manage your inbox and your calendar. Keep a ChatGPT tab open for those quick, one-off tasks or when you need a specific plugin to do something. And then have Claude on standby for when you need to pause, think deeply, and get some help on a complex decision. It's a toolkit, not just a single hammer.
So, when you adopt this way of thinking, you actually move from that constant state of confusion and jumping between tools to a place of real clarity and control.
This is really the whole shift right here. The old way,
Asking the wrong question, pitting tools against each other, that just leads to confusion. The new way is all about building the right system for you, matching the right tool to the right task, so you can gain genuine control over your work.
And the real payoff here? This isn't about working harder at all. It's about working smarter. When you consciously match your tools to what you're trying to do, the quality of your work just gets better, naturally, often without any extra effort. It just flows.
So when it comes down to it, the secret to really using AI effectively at work isn't about that endless search for the one best tool. It's about thoughtfully designing your best system, a system of specialist tools that actually works for you and the way you think. So the real question isn't which AI is best. It's this: how will you design yours?
We at Operators Lab HQ strive to help you make your business better. For more advanced workflows and strategic guides, follow our channel.